Welcome back and thank you for joining us. So the Enlightened Christian Gathering Church has briefed the media and has suspended 4 people at the church. That's after a stampede at the church resulted in the death of 3 people at the end of last month. There has been a lot of criticism, as you'll know, for the church and its pastor, Shepherd Boucherie, including from the South African National Civic Organization. The church has held a media briefing earlier on today to give an update. Attending that for us was ENCA's Tseho Moahi, who joins us now from our newsroom. And so, Tseho, let's start with the first things. The briefing right at the start was addressed not by Shepherd Boucherie, but also the person who was addressing it, the spokesperson, expressed some concerns about safety.
That is correct. Good afternoon to Lasizwe. And the person that did address us was the spokesperson of the church, Maynard Manoa. That is his name. And he did just give us details about the safety of the church, specifically saying that plans have been put in place to ensure that this situation does not happen again. They also spoke about how they will not be able to inform us when Pastor Boucherie will be back in South Africa. He's currently in Zimbabwe. There's a program that is set out for him, and it has been set out months before the stampede took place last month. So they cannot tell us when he'll be back, also for safety concerns of the pastor. So that was the main thing that they really spoke about. And the big thing for them as well is the fact that this happened on their premises, and they're really trying to find ways to mitigate that it actually takes place again. They did also mention to Lasizwe that it is a natural disaster what took place, saying that they couldn't have foreseen 3 people passing away during a stampede. They couldn't have foreseen the storm that actually initially caused the stampede.
I suppose questions of the pastor's whereabouts arise because they are grieving families that many would have expected would receive the comfort of their spiritual leader. And we are told that he is actually a grieving man and he's been distant for that reason.
Absolutely, and another reason why he hasn't said anything, they are saying that it is because he actually does not want to be seen to be tampering with investigations, and what is the investigations, the internal investigations by the church, and also investigations by the police. He is in Zimbabwe, as I mentioned, and they are saying that the program that was put together happened, of course, months before the stampede, but it is, as you mentioned, it is quite interesting how people have been asking about his whereabouts, how he will he actually be there to comfort these grieving families, because they are members of his church. And when I did ask that particular question, I was told that he will be back to come to actually speak to the families, and it is definitely his intention to speak to each family individually. So that is exactly what we were told to Lasizwe.
So these 4 church officials who've been suspended, we are told this was a natural incident, natural disaster, what happened. So why are these 4 officials suspended then?
You know, Tulas, I did ask about that specific reason, and one of the people that is suspended is Evangelist Fritz, and the other 3 are actually security personnel. And I did request an answer as to why are these people suspended, and we were told that it is because they could have foreseen something happening, or they could have done something afterwards. We do know that the 3 bodies were moved to a mortuary, an unknown mortuary really, and there's a speculation that somebody from the church moved these particular bodies to this mortuary, and so they are saying that the 4 people that have been suspended, it is because of this particular reason that they feel that they might actually be involved in the moving of the bodies, and if they aren't, then why did they not stop the bodies being moved before police actually arriving?
But what the bottom line is from the church today is that Pastor Shepherd Boucherie is not even trying to cover up his tracks, because there are no tracks to cover up. They're saying he wasn't even there on the day of the incident.
Absolutely. It is quite interesting that they are saying that he wasn't there on the 28th of December, rather. And as you mentioned, they are saying that he's not trying to cover his tracks. But the issue of the 28th of December is, as far as I understand it, he actually was in the vicinity because people were there to see him. He was going to have an evening service on that particular day, but the church is saying that he was not on the premises or in the vicinity when the stampede took place, that there is nothing for him to hide. And when we did question about why then is he not specifically talking about this issue, because the church is seen and it is identified by Pastor Boucherie. When people see Pastor Boucherie, you then see ECG Church. And when we asked why is he not the one addressing media, why is he not the one talking about the situation and what exactly happened, we were told, of course, that he is grieving and he does not want to be seen as interfering in investigations, and of course he's in Zimbabwe. So it is quite interesting, the stance that the church has definitely taken. And the spokesperson also mentioned that if Pastor Boucherie had to address the media or had to address people about the occurrences of that particular day, everybody would actually believe him because he's got nothing to hide.
All right, thank you so much for that. That is ENCA's Tsegohajo Moagi, who was attending that briefing by the church earlier on to talk about that stampede, that fatal stampede that happened at the end of last month.